Okay, and last but not least, we have Vamp Kings. Tislahuica Tislahuica Pan. Oh god, I recorded this in one go. How am I gonna say this? Tislahuica Pan. Okay, this one is getting disqualified. And delete. Sure. Hello everyone, it's me, Sidney here, and welcome to a new video. Today you're going to watch me not only review cards, but really mess up some names. I'm the guy with the accent. I'm not supposed to be doing this. But today we have a lot of cool cards made by the community, and we are going to be looking at them one by one, reviewing them super quickly because this video has way too many cards. I think I'm up to 20. No, actually, I'm up to 16. That's it. I'm up to 16 cards, so you guys are going to see a lot of stuff, a lot of cool cards. And the first person to submit a card this week was Hamter. Hamter made a really cool card. So, Fifth Sun, that one I can pronounce. A 5 cost, 3 power card with the ability Ultimate Sacrifice. At the start of your turn, you lose 5 HP and this card loses 2 attack. All other cards in your hand gain plus 3 attack permanently. This is awesome design. I'm a big fan of the sacrifice theming for Aztecs. When I personally made some cards for the Aztec collection when I was trying this out, I also thought about sacrifice, and sacrifices like this are really cool. I just have one thing to say: the balance. Even though you are losing a lot of HP, you are gaining a lot of power per turn, and I'm talking you're gaining 4 extra power in relation to the HP that you're losing. So if you have a high HP hero, you don't mind this. If you're playing a heal deck, you don't mind this. So 3 power is just a bit too much. And keep in mind that Fifth Sun is also growing by 1 attack every turn, so he could also drop up like a bomb. So Hamter, really cool card, really awesome design. I love the theming of Aztec sacrificing your HP, and he himself is sacrificing some of his power. But at the end of the day, this one is just not ready to be printed at this stat line. It could probably be printed at around pushing it 2 power permanently, or just 1 power permanently, or 2 power permanently with a restriction. So like your Aztecs cards gain plus 2 power permanently. So if you're running a mixed deck, it doesn't get the full buff. Overall, really awesome card. And to keep it going, we have Alt. Alt also made a really awesome card. Similarly to the theming of Sacrifice that Hamta brought, Alt gave us awesome name, and has as a start of turn, you gain plus 2 hero attack. I swear to God, I looked it up how to pronounce all of these cards, and I tried. I don't think my mouth can make the sounds that this is asking me to. But at the start of your turn, you gain plus 2 hero attack and you lose 2 HP. So really simple card. And similarly to what we had from Hamter, this is giving you power at the cost of holding the card and losing some HP. I am a big fan of how this works. I'm a big fan of just slowly draining yourself, and if you can keep up with like a Saturn in hand, this is just permanently 2 power, which is what old Pizza used to do. So overall, I am a big fan of the card. I'm a big fan of the balance itself. I just get a bit scared of it being a bit weak. 2 power per turn is pretty good, but we just saw Saturn get buffed from an 8 cost 6 power card to a 6 cost 6 power card. And this is a legendary that doesn't have any stats to speak of, so this one might be a bit too weak if you end up like having your hand frozen or burning, and at the end of the day it's a 0 power card, so you cannot play it. It's just there for the effect. The design is awesome, the power is almost there. I just think that the card itself should have a bit more power to be able to work. And coming up next from Alt as well, we have Sipactli. Sipacto? Sipacto? I think that's how you pronounce it. I looked it up, I swear. This awesome creature is a 4 cost 7 power unit with return. If you do not attack this turn, lose 5 HP. So, sorry. So this is always going to be a 4 power 7 cost because you are always going to be attacking with it. It's a very aggressive card, and I'm sure that Alt made it because he really likes these types of cards. And I also really like them, but for the legendary, I'm not sure if he meant it to be a legendary. He didn't have the rarity of the card up when I made it, but I thought the design was cool enough to make it a legendary. But I think that the whole card is basically just a 4/7. It doesn't have an effect unless you are purposefully using it to damage yourself. This is just a card with higher stats. And we know that 4 costs can get to 7 power. Hades, and the reason why I made Legendary Hades has 6 power for 3 costs and an effect on top of it. So a 4 cost 7 power is just a bit, you know, it exists. The design is a bit boring because it's not a condition that you are triggering. It doesn't have any effects. It's just there. It exists. But I like the overall idea of it. I would maybe change it to have something else if you maybe I don't know. I'm not sure how to come up with an idea just now. I am a big fan of the card itself. The power is there. It makes sense. It would be run in aggressive decks. It just doesn't do much besides being a stat stick, which is fine if that's what you're going for. But coming up next, another one from Alt. And this one is really cool. Not the others weren't, but I'm a big fan of how this works. Zoloto, if your opponent does not attack, you gain 4 attack. If your opponent attacks, you lose 4 attack. So I really like this because it goes with the idea that you cannot predict when your opponent isn't going to attack. You can have an idea that, oh, their playstyle hasn't been attacking, so maybe they won't attack this turn. But you cannot be sure. When you are using cards that care about your opponent having attacked or attacking the same turn, they can be run with cards that force attacks. So if this said, if your opponent attack this turn, gain attack, it would be very easy to predict. You can just force them to attack. But as of now, unless Boluf's last week's card gets implemented into the game, this doesn't work like that. You cannot force your opponent to skip the turn. So you need to have actual thought put into it and analyze their playstyle. And if it doesn't work, it's just a 1 cost 0 power card. And that's the sole reason why I'm bringing up the design and the balance a bit. I think it's really cool, but if you mess it up, you are losing. You are losing so much power. You played the card that didn't do anything, and even worse, it's bringing you down with it. So the design and the balance go down 1 star, but overall, really awesome design, and I really like the idea of you having to predict your opponent's playstyle this way. And now from Belufe, Quetzalcoatl, a return effect. Just a side note, the colors of the the thingies might be a bit bugged. I tried to make the new template that they released, but I couldn't get it working as quickly as I wanted it to, so I used Gemini, and Gemini messed it up a bit. But it's a return effect, and if your opponent attack this turn more than you this turn, your remaining cards in hand gain +3 power next turn. So this has a condition similarly to a Gladiator, but it's the opposite way around. If your opponent is dealing more damage than you, your remaining cards in hand gain +3 power next turn. And that's really cool because you can just pass. Or you can just attack with very low HP. And very low attack, sorry. And this is giving, let's say that you pass the turn by playing just Quetzalcoatl and another card. Next turn you have 9 extra power to play with, which is really cool and works well with Boudica. This is a phrase that you're gonna hear a lot during this video. It works well with Boudica. But it's very similar to Witching Hour, which has the same stat line, almost the same effect, just Witching Hour has the condition of it being common cards. And I think that for a legendary, and Bolufe made this thinking about it being a legendary because the forums had the question up for him. I think that for a legendary, this might just be a bit weak and doesn't really work. When you compare to Witching Hour, it's basically the same effect, the same stat line. the same use cases. This is just a different condition for it. So overall, it loses a bit of balance in design for that, but I really like the card itself. If it had a few changes, maybe it could be a really awesome card, just straight sprint to the game. And from Balufei again, we have that card. If you are forced to attack this turn, lose 5 HP and gain plus 10 hero attack. It's a return effect on a 3/3. So this can be a 3 cost, 13 power card by itself. You are losing 5 HP in the process, so we can say that's a net gain of 8 power. And the condition is if you are forced to attack. So you need to play this with either your opponent helping you by being dumb or by you forcing yourself to attack. And there are a lot of ways to do that right now. Actually, sorry, there are a few ways to do that right now, but they are reliable ways. So you can use this on a Blackbeard deck, for example. So you wouldn't be stressing out too much about having to hold this card until you draw the perfect card. You would just need to hold it until your charges fill up, which is a pretty interesting design. I'm a big fan. So design 5 stars. The balance though, I'm not too sure if the numbers are correct. Maybe this will be a bit too powerful as is. You can just heal back up the health loss. And this ends up being, and mostly because of Blackbeard, I should say, this ends up being unearthed John D with a easier to fulfill condition because of the new change to Blackbeard. But Blackbeard is a really awesome hero, and I'm very happy to see more stuff come out for it. Then, a third card from Balufei, we have Choki Quetzal. I think that's how you say it. A 4/2 with play. If played between 2 deities from different collections, restore 4 HP. The trigger is really cool, and the power is a bit too low. Right now, deities can be in 3 collections, just 3. Would be Aztec, would be Baphomet from Occult, and the deities from Greek mythology. So this is cool design, just power isn't there. 4 HP is basically just a trigger of Sappho or a trigger of Pinocchio. And the condition for this is you need to have your whole deck basically built around it. Because right now you're not really running deities, or you could be running Baphomet at most, and you need to run Persephone, I think. I think the Persephone is a deity. I need to check that. I forgot about that. But you would be running like HP based deck, and you need to be holding this until you draw the perfect cards, because you're not running a full deity deck, if that makes any sense. So, and the heal is just 4 HP, which is quite low for a condition that requires you to have 2 other specific cards in your deck. But overall, really cool trigger, really cool design. I'm a big fan of this one. I think that you could basically make it a 1-cost card and it would work. And the last card from Balufei, we have Shikomequotl. Play, if played next to a common human, gain +5 shield this turn. This one is really cool. I like the fact that it's a human, but it's also common human. You will find most of them on stem stars, and stem stars are really cool. Have some in literature, but stem stars, you're already running a couple of them for a shield-based deck. The only thing that I'm a bit afraid is that this is quite weak. We have the Roman dude that gives you a lot of shield as well, and it has a bit more power than this and no condition. So I think that this could maybe give shields, like gain 3 shield, double if you're playing next to a common human, maybe. But overall, really cool. Almost too easy to fix, but at the same time, if this was printed as is, you wouldn't see any play, I believe. Because you would need to make a deck around it, and then you would need to wait for you to draw the common human that you want to play with it, and by then your payoff isn't worth running. And from Chase a Fox, we have Patecotl. Start. If your deck contains 2 or more science cards, this card gains +2 attack and costs -1 energy this turn. So I believe that he intended both effects to be this turn, and I'm gonna go based off of that. So this is just a 3-cost 8 power card if your deck contains 2 or more science, which is pretty balanced actually. It's Hades without the effect, and it has a small condition to play with. I think that this is quite balanced. You could play this. It would be a very powerful card, but if Hades exists and Hades is considered to be balanced, this is also pretty balanced. Your deck needs to be built around it. You're running a mixed deck, so it's really cool. Just the fact that the design suffers a bit from it being a start of turn effect and it not needing to trigger more than once. I'm not sure why it's a start of turn effect, and that brought me out of it a bit. It doesn't accumulate the effects, so it could just be a draw effect. And it would be a fun, cool draw effect if it was that. But the fact that it's a start of turn effect changes my vision around it a bit. So from Prince Cats, we have Ship It Attack, which is a return effect on a 7/6. Your remaining cards in hand gain +2 power until played. And I have to say, Prince Cats has the same card design style as I do, which is the deceptively simple cards. Cards that when you look at them, you go, that's boring, but then you start to think about it and you start to say the phrase, it works with Bodica, and then everything starts to make sense. So this is until played, and this is a return effect. If you play it on its own, this is buffing 4 cards in your hand. That's 8 more power. That's 7/14. That's pretty strong. If you're playing it with something else, it's a 7/12, then a 7/10, then a 7/8. Sorry, it can't go to 7/8. It's a 7/10 at minimum. And that is super cool. The effect can be stacked. I'm already going to review it. I think that the balance is perfect. This would see play, and the fact that it's a bit expensive is also really cool. I just have a bit of a problem with it being a legendary. I'm not sure if it's worth of being a legendary, maybe an epic. But the whole card is so cool. And I'm gonna say I'm being biased towards Prince Cats. I don't want you to win again. You were so good at card design. You're gonna win every week if I keep going like this. You know how to strike my heart. But yeah, it's such a cool card. The battle right now will probably be good for it. You are saving up a bit of energy. You're playing with Bodica, and Bodica is also a card that I really like. Overall, 4-star design, 5-star balance. Continue the Prince Cats theming here. We have Tezcatlipoca, which is a play effect. If played on the left, you gain +1 charge. If played on the right, oh sorry, I hit my microphone. If played on the left, you gain +1 charge. If played on the right, your opponent loses 1 charge, which is pretty similarly to what is happening right now with the changes on Charles, which makes it lose, both players lose a charge. This you can choose if you were gaining a charge or if your opponent is losing a charge. It's on play, but it doesn't really matter that it's on play because it doesn't really, there is no way to use the charges right now. And let's go to the balance. So whenever the balance is a bit off, I tend to get a bit of the design stars out as well. But the balance is quite low actually. I don't think that you care enough about 1 charge on an epic, and it has positional effects. I don't think that you care enough to run this as a 5/3. I think that this could go up a bit, maybe even to a 5/5. It does kind of the same effect as, oh, I forgot her name, but the Stem Stars common, the 3/1. And we know the Avid balances things around the rarity around power as well. So this being a 5/3 is a bit too low for me. The condition of playing on the right for opponent to lose 1 charge is cool, but at the same time, it's not worth 3 stats or even more stats. I'm sure that you could bring this up a bit more. And Following it up, we have Kinetical's card. Not gonna try to pronounce it. Good job picking up the randomest word ever. The effect is on a 5/7, play for each card you have not drawn yet, grant a card in your deck plus 1 power until played. I'm just gonna show this. The design is 5 stars. I really like the idea of you having to play this as soon as possible, and you hope that you draw it as soon as possible. But the balance is a bit off. I think that this is either good or just a bit too strong, depending on how you draw this. And the fact that there's a lot of variance there makes me a bit scared. But honestly, even with that, the variance, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a huge fan of it. If you have not drawn the card yet, it's such a cool, unique trigger. We haven't seen it in Q. We haven't seen it in wildcards yet. So Kinetico, just 5 stars for you, my friend. You did something incredibly cool. And from Miscellaneum, we have 3 cards. Ignore the fact that that one is black. It's meant to be red as well. I couldn't get it to make the art look cool at the same time as making the thingy on the bottom have this correct color. But Tlacopan, the Nucleotide Lumptupta, and Texcoco. That one I can say. These 3 places from the Aztec Empire, and they are very cool. So all of them interact with one another, and the way that you play them, the one in the center changes the effect. So you can only trigger one of these, and they are all 6/4s. And the effect of the first one is, if played between the other 2, force your opponent to attack, and they lose 7 hero attack. So if you're playing all 3 of them together, and you manage to play the whole combo, your opponent is losing 7 attack. So 18 cost, 12 power, and needing to wait a turn for you to draw them. You're forcing your opponent to attack, and they are losing some power. The second one is this card gains +8 power until played, and the other 2 lose 2 permanently. So now the effect is 18 cost. The power is 16 power, so 16/16. But if you use it again, it loses more power. And Texcoco is, if played between the 2, your cards in hand cost -2 permanently. So now it's a 12/12. I think the Texcoco is the most powerful of these, because making your cards in hand cost -2 permanently is actually an effect that you might actually want to run this for. The others, they are just not worth running. The stats on them don't make up for the effect. Tlacopan is not worth the 7 hero attack. So the design is really cool. You have 3 cards that are there, and they change how they work based around how you play them. It actually maybe knock down the balance a bit to 3 stars. I think that they are rather weak. I think that I brought up to 4 just because of the Texcoco combo, where you're gaining a lot of energy. But the other 2, they are never gonna be in the middle, at least I think, unless you really need that power boost. And if you really needed the power boost, you would probably be running something else that gave you the raw power. But I love the design of having 3 cards that you need to shift around to see how you're gonna use, and only one of them can trigger. It's very similar to the Meowth international combo. I forgot how to say that. But the 3 cats that all are 3/2, and they have an effect based on which one is touching which one. But you can, I think that you can trigger 2 of them in the same. Yeah, you can trigger 2 of them at the same time. So this one is even more unique, and I'm a big fan of how it works. Just the balance needs a bit of fine tuning. And oh, yep. And now we have a card that is not from the collection of Aztecs, but it triggers based on Aztecs. So we have the Latophilus from Aslong. It's a 4 cost, 2 power card. Speeching form. Draw. If your deck contains 2 literature cards. I've been talking for 24 minutes. Give me a break. I'm sorry. Your Aztec mythology cards gain +2 attack for 2 turns. I like this. I actually really like this. The fact that it's on a draw, though, makes this lose a starting balance on my eyes. The power that you get from this, if you can draw it perfectly, is 12 power from it. Like, you can play up to 6 Aztec mythology cards, then you cycle it again, 12 extra, or you just keep it in hand forever, maybe dies there in hand. But the fact that you managed to get 12 power without having much sacrifice, I would probably make this a play effect if I could change it just slightly. But overall, really awesome card, and the idea to bring all these 3 collections together is really cool because we have a lot of cards that care about creatures or dinosaurs or concepts. And if you have a bunch of cards from other collections that trigger well together, those cards are going to work well. And I'm a big fan of that. Following it up, we have A War 2000. 4 cost, 3 power card with draw, lose 3 HP, and gain 3 energy. A really simple card, ship it attack. I am a big fan of how it works. I've been saying this for basically every card in here, but you guys are just awesome. You make really awesome cards, so congratulations. On draw, you lose 3 HP and you gain 3 energy. 5-star design, 4-star balance. The 5th star for balance is a bit hard to get on my my heart here, but I think that the fact that this is 4 cost might weaken it a bit. I'm not sure if you would be running this as is. I'm sure that they have been looking at the way that energy stuff works, and this could be balanced now. I'm not too sure. We had a 3-1 that gave you 3 energy for free. This is a 4-3 that gives you 3 energy, so it's on the same rate as that. The power is a bit higher, but you're losing 3 HP. I think that this could maybe be a 3 cost. It's a rare. It's allowed to be slightly stronger. I feel that this could be the replacement for Grand Prismatic Spring in most aggressive decks. If you don't care about losing HP, you could just run this instead, and I'm a big fan of that. So from Random Switch Gamer, we have Teopixqui. Teopixque? A 4-3 rare, same stat line as before. Play your DT cards in hand, get +2 attack this turn. So I'm gonna give you a tip if you want to win the legendary. And hear me out, okay? If you want to win the legendary from these competitions, and you're not just doing it for fun, you want to be competitive. You have seen that I have a soft spot for simple cards. You make a simple card, right? That's a simple card, right? This is so cool. Oh my god, I just exploded my mic. I'm sorry. This is so cool. It's the same thing as Atame from the Occult, and I'm a big fan of Atame. This, it's buffing 2 other cards. It doesn't buff itself, so you are not running, you're not gaining 6 power from this. You're just gaining 4, but it's a 4-7. But it allows you to run it in any DT deck. And I'm a big fan of that. Being able to run this in a deck with Aztec mythology cards is really cool, but at the same time, you can just run this in Greek mythology, and there, this would shine really well. It's cheap. It's a buffing card. It buffs them for cheap because Greek mythology has a big problem with expensive cards. This would be in rate for them, and I'm a big fan of how that brings the other decks together while being a Aztec mythology card. And the flavor is there. This is, I did some research, and I think that Random Switch Gamer also brought this up. This is a priest from the Aztec mythology guys, so this is so cool. And from Luna Capybara, 3-5, and I swear I'm not giving this review this high of a review because of the fact that this is a butterfly. I know I'm the butterfly guy. I have my bias in check. But It's a Papot Lotto has the effect of return. If your opponent attacks this turn, This card loses -3 attack permanently. So it goes to a 3/2. And otherwise, it gains +1 shield for 3 turns. That's awesome design. 5-star design, 5-star balance. It's a 3/5. It has a lose condition. If your opponent attack this turn, you're just a 3/2. But a 3/2 is still fine. You might hold on to it for the remainder of the game because you don't want to risk it. But if you are able to predict your opponent, and the same thing as I said to alt accounts, fact, you're able to predict the opponent. This is such a cool card, and it has a payoff if you predict it, and it's a payoff on top of it being an overstated card. So I'm a big fan of how this works. I'm a big fan of it being able to work around predicting your opponent. I'm a big fan of it just having this shoot per turn effect for 3 turns. So this is 3 extra HP. It could not have this effect and still work, but the fact that it has the little shield thing for 3 turns is a cherry on top for me. It makes it so you have a visual indicator for the fact that you succeeded. You have the little bit of shield, and for players that actually is quite important. You being able to see the fact that you succeeded, you did a massive prediction, because this could be the other way around. This could be an understated card with the effect of gaining attack, and that will have the same mental idea for players, right? But the fact that you are having the overstated card and you're almost losing something, but oh my god, you got it right. I just love that. I hope that my explanation makes sense. You have like this visual indicator. Oh, it's so I love it. I really love it. Lunar Capybara, you did always, your cards are always really cool. But this one, I'm a big fan of it. And that's it. I don't know why I had a blank screen at the end, but Lunar Capybara and Random Switch Gamer, you guys are getting a legendary. Just send me a message. You guys did awesome. Both of your cards are just so cool. Just look at this. It's a butterfly. I know. I love butterflies. And that's one of the only Aztec guys that I can pronounce correctly besides Shipe Toltec. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Next week, we are not doing a theme for the competition. If you guys want to challenge yourselves to do something specific, that's okay. But if you guys just want to send me a card, I would happily review it. I know that I can be a bit harsh, but I try to evaluate everyone on the same standards of how likely is this to be put in the game. And if you disagree with any of my opinions, please let me know down in the comments below. I might start doing rage bait so you guys can comment. I'm going to review some cards with 1-star balance, and they are perfectly balanced just to get you guys to comment. But anyway, I try to put everyone in the same standards and get everyone to try to get the card as clear and as closely as possible to a real in-game card, while also being incredibly creative and having this really cool idea. So overall, big fan of everything. Thanks everyone who participated. This one I'm not doing participation rewards because I'm going to go poor. But who knows? Maybe next week we might get some participation rewards. I can get some coins. Yeah, I can get everyone some epics maybe. Join next week to see. Next week we have an actual Avid card. Avid Tobes made a card, and you guys are gonna like it. It's really cool. So let's thank Random Switch Gamers Ice Cream card, Avid Tobes Electric Guitar, and Rogier's Frog. They are gonna come up next week. And your cards as well. No theme, just make a really cool card. It can be from a collection that exists, a collection that doesn't exist. It can be a rebuff, a rebalance on a card that already exists. I would love that. And it can be something from outside the game, maybe. What if you like something like Assassin's Creed? You could make a card for Assassin's Creed into the game. I wouldn't mind. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below. Scream at me in the comments and say, that's not balanced. That's not balanced. See ya. Sidney out.